everyone, Nicole here from A Healthy Profit, and today I am going to teach you how to accurately count your macros. Counting macros goes far beyond just counting calories. Yes, it will show you how to calculate your base calories, but I'll also show you how to calculate the necessary protein, fat, and carbs. Stick with me, you will be a macro expert after this. So you do need my stats. So I'm 112 pounds and I'm 5'2". Calculated that in kilograms and centimeters. I just did that conversion using a Google calculator. So these are my stats. Now we will use an equation to help me figure out my BMR. This basal metabolic rate just means the amount of calories you need to survive. It's the amount of calories you just expend just simply by living. So I am going to hand calculate my BMR, but there's a much easier way to do it, and I will link that in the description below. It is simply a BMR calculator. You can just type in literally your height, weight, whether you're male or female, and it will calculate your BMR for you. Alright, so I just calculated it and my BMR is 1,197. Now what we need to do is add an activity factor. Alright, so we already know that my body will naturally burn this many calories every day just by me surviving and living. But on top of that, you need to consider how active you are. For example, I'm a physical therapist, so I'm always on my feet, I have a really active job, and I go to the gym nearly daily. So we have to add one of these activity factors in. My personal favorite way to track my total calories, which includes my BMR and my active calories, is just through my activity app using my Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch has this great activity app, and it tracks your total calories, including your BMR and your active calories. But for the sake of this video, let's just do it the old school way and do a calculation. Yes. So if you are a sedentary person, you would multiply your BMR by 1.2. If you exercise and go to the gym, let's say 1 to 3 times a week, you would take your BMR and multiply it by 1.375. If you exercise 3 to 5 times a week, you would multiply by 1.55. If you exercise 6 to 7 times a week, or let's say you have a physical job, you would multiply by 1.725. And finally, if you are a professional athlete, a collegiate athlete, or if you are a construction worker, have a really heavy duty job, you can multiply your BMR by 1.9. For me, I'm going to say, because I have an active job and because I exercise between 6 to 7 times a week, I'm going to choose this category. So I'm going to take my BMR, 1,197, and multiply that by 1.725. When we factor in my activity level and my BMR, I should be taking in 2,000 calories plus or minus just to maintain my weight of 112 pounds. And this is very accurate because when I go into my activity app in my iPhone, it basically tells me that nearly every day I burn anywhere from, on my lowest day in the past week, it was 1,600. On my best day, it was 2,300 calories. So this is definitely accurate. And remember, each day is going to be a little different, right? I don't do the same exercises every day. There are days where I'm more active than others. So using an activity factor like this is super helpful, or just using your iPhone to see an average of how much you've moved throughout the week is also really helpful. And this is something you can adjust and you can track as you go. Alright, so we just calculated our maintenance calories. This is the number that you need to intake every day just to maintain your weight, or on average you at least need to take this in, right? So this number includes both your BMR and your active calories. You may be thinking now, well, my fitness goal is to lose weight. Now let me show you how to do that. So let's say you want to lose 1 pound per week, then 3,500 divided by 7 is 500. So you would need to cut 500 calories per day to lose 1 pound of fat per week. Okay, so in my example where I need 2,000 calories, I would drop down to 1,500 calories hypothetically if I was trying to lose weight. I'm not, but 1,500 calories per day. And that would ensure that I would lose 1 pound per week. On the flip side, if you are trying to bulk or gain weight so that you can gain muscle a little bit easier, you would just add 500 calories to your maintenance weight to ensure that you gain 1 pound per week. Now, this is variable, right? Not everyone wants to lose or gain a pound a week. You can adjust this number. All you need to know is that for 1 pound of fat loss or gain, you either need to add or subtract 3,500 calories. It's so important to understand that 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. Let's get to the good stuff, calculating macros. So we know that I need 2,064 calories a day to maintain my weight. Now we need to use this number to help us calculate my macros, so my protein, my fat, and my carbs. First, I'm just gonna write a little chart right here that will help us with some of these calculations. This is really important. That I just laid out how many calories are there for every gram of your macros. So for every gram of protein, there's 4 calories. So 4 calories per gram of protein. For every gram of fat, there's 9 calories. This is our highest. And for every gram of carb, there's also 4 calories. So we will use this chart in just a moment. All right, so let's start with the almighty protein. Anyone and everyone needs between 0.8 and 2 grams of protein per pound. So because I'm active and I'm trying to build up muscle, I'm going to go with, let's say 1.3 is what I want per pound. So 1.3 times 112. Anyone else shocked by the crazy amount of protein that I need every day? As a female who's 112 pounds, who goes to the gym and lifts pretty frequently, I need 145 grams of protein per day. So that's a lot of protein. But if you think about your macros, right, you have protein, fat, and carbs. Where would you want to put most of your macronutrients in? Personally, for me, I'd rather be consuming a lot more protein than fat or carbs. Fat and carbs are not bad for you in the slightest of bits. You need them. Your body requires them. They're macronutrients. It's a huge nutritional need of your body. However, I'd rather my protein be on the higher side. I'd rather be multiplying by 1.3 or even 1.5 than 0.8 to ensure that I have the right balance, right? So for who I am and for what I know I do activity-wise, I'd rather this number be high than, let's say, my fats or carbs. For fat, our bodies require anywhere between 0.2 to 0.5 grams of fat per pound. So I'm going to stick somewhere in the middle because why not? I am going to say that I would like to consume 0.3. I'll multiply that by 112. All right, so after my calculation, it is found that I need to be taking in 33.6 grams of fat per day. Last but not least, we need to calculate our carbs. So carbs we always save for the last calculation because whatever we have left over in calories, we eat in carbs. That's how that works. So what we need to do is we need to convert the grams of fat and the grams of protein into calories. So let's do that first. So above, we said that for every gram of protein, it's 4 calories. So what we'll do is we'll do 145.6 grams times 4 to get our protein in calories. Likewise, we'll do the same thing for fat. So before we said that for every gram of fat, it's 9 calories. So the same premise goes. We're going to do 33.6 times 9 to get our fat in calories. We need 2,000 calories a day to maintain my weight. I know that I need 33 grams of fat, which translates into 302 calories. I know that I need 145 grams of protein, which translates into 586 calories. So now what I'll do is I'll say, okay, 2,000 calories a day minus, I'm getting 302 from my fat, minus 586 from my protein. Let's see how many calories are left over, and that is how we calculate our carbs. This is the calories that I can take in from carbs. So we're just going in the opposite direction now, and we're going to figure out how many grams come from the number of calories of carbs. So when we talk about carbs now, we know that it's 1,112 calories. So we need to do this divided by 4. I need 278 grams of carbs per day. This is a great summary of my macros based on my statistics and all of our calculations that we did today. I hope that this helped. Another point that I'd like to bring up before I go is that MyFitnessPal is a great app to help you stay on track with counting these macros. If you'd prefer an app over something like Excel or paper and pencil, I do highly suggest the app. It has basically every food you could think of in that app and makes it really, really simple for you to get these numbers in there. If you have specific fitness goals, counting macros will make sure that your fitness goals are in line with your nutrition goals, which is huge. If you work so hard at the gym, you may as well be rewarded for it. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Happy tracking.